And good morning. Welcome back to another Truth for Today. I'm Pastor Mike, coming to you from the Lighthouse Baptist Church here in Seagrove, and we hope today's devotional thought will find you doing very well. We're taking our reading today out of the book of Psalms, chapter number 103. I want to read about 3 verses if I could. Really concentrate on a phrase at the end of verse number 3. The Bible says in verse 1 of Psalms 103, David here really starts off strong. He says, "Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me, bless His holy name." David is giving praise and adoration. He goes on in verse number 2 and says this, "Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all of His benefits." One of the reasons that David is blessing the Lord, praising Him here in the text, is he's reminiscing on the goodness of God, the things that salvation have brought to his life. And in verse 3, he mentions 2 of them, just 2, but listen closely what he says. "Who forgiveth all thine iniquities, who healeth all thy diseases." The first reason that David states that he is blessing the Lord in the text is because God has forgiven all of his sins. My, what a thought today. Imagine today, just stop and pause and remember, let me say it that way, for those of you that are saved by God's grace, think about this. Every sin you've ever committed, when He saved you, He chose not only to forgive it, but to forget it. He wiped it away. Matter of fact, the Bible teaches us He cast it into the sea of forgetfulness to remember it no more. It's awesome if you think about it. That's not really where I want to concentrate on today, though. The second part of verse 3 says this. David said, he was praising the Lord or blessing the Lord because He healeth all thy diseases. Now, I want you to think about that. When we think about diseases, we think about like ailments of the body, cancer and so forth and so on. And it's not that God can't, because sometimes God does heal of those physical type infirmities. But the diseases I believe David is discussing here, or that he's praising God for, are the diseases that sin plagued us with. Think about this. Whenever we were lost and in sin, think about the effect it had on our mind, the effect it had on our heart, the effect it had on our spirit. But when you get saved and forgiven of those things, those disease type effects that sin had on us are and can be healed. He healeth us of all our diseases. What a God. What an amazing aspect of salvation that so many times goes completely unrecognized in our life. Here's my challenge to you and I today. Just like David, let's you and I ponder on all that God has given to us in salvation. And when it really clicks and sets in, let's do what David did. Let's bless His name. Let's give Him glory, both privately in our prayer life and publicly to those around us. Let's glorify God for the blessings that was brought to us in salvation. He healeth all our diseases. I'm glad today, friend, that God is still mending the things that sin stole from me and the way sin impacted and affected me. Hope today's devotional thought will lift your spirit, encourage you today, and may the Lord richly bless you today is our prayer.